Well, welcome to the podcast. And today we're actually going to have a little fun with asset management, property management.
Full disclosure, I do not want to participate in today's podcast. I'm scared.
You don't have to be scared. So what we're going to talk about, have you ever?
Never have I ever.
No, not never have I. Have you ever?
Have you ever? So this is like the novella episode.
This is what you guys always want to hear, the juicy stuff. So I'm going to start out. We just bought a property. We had it for, I think, 3 days. And we had a resident in the parking lot with a rattlesnake, showing it to a rattlesnake. Okay. Yes, he had caught, showing it to all the residents, saying that it came up out of his bathtub.
Sure it did, buddy. Yeah, sure it did.
So they got him escorted back to his house, and I guess he kept it overnight. Then the next morning, he showed up with the rattlesnake skin. We don't know if he ate the rattlesnake. Ew. We don't really know what happened to it, but we ended up having to get Game and Fish out because you're not supposed to capture and keep, a poisonous snake in your apartment overnight. Yeah. And so he got a 3-day.
Rightfully so. Have I ever had a lady of the night at my property? Answer is yes.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
I had some people who were working and they're not residents and they were causing disturbances. You can take that for whatever it is. And yes, I had to call the police and get that lady of the night kicked out of my property because you're not supposed to work on the property. You're supposed to live there. So, people will say, oh, you're just hating. But no, it's like people are there to live there and not to work.
Yeah.
There.
So I had a shooting at a property. And it was actually a love story.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So
that sounds about right though.
Yeah. So it was an older lady. She was in her late 60s, early 70s. She was a retired military. Mm-hmm. And she met a man in prison who was about 20 years younger than her. And they got married while he was incarcerated, which on-site didn't know this.
Wow. They
just thought she was like a little old lady living in the apartment.
For everything.
Yes, they did. They make an app for everything. So she got married. He got out of prison and had been out for about 2 weeks. And we don't know exactly what happened, but he said or did something that she didn't like, and she shot him. And so, and then she left. So they had a little manhunt for her.
Oh my gosh.
So, he was in the hospital. She went to jail, and of course, he wasn't on the lease.
Of course.
Because we didn't even know he was there. He'd only been out for 2 weeks. So, so we had a gunshot.
His previous residence was state.
Yeah.
The state. The
courtesy of the state.
The courtesy of the state. There you go. That's a good one. So have I ever had to pull 2 residents out of their home and treat them like children? Yes. Recently, unfortunately, I was just talking to my business partner next to me, saying how I had to go to a property because they were just 2 grown women acting like children with each other. Just that you tell so-and-so, I'm not telling, and then Andrew, you tell so-and-so, I'm not talking to her. I'm like, you're right next to each other. Like, what are we doing here?
Had they caused property damage?
They have, actually. They slashed each other's tires. They broke each other's car windows. They're verbally yelling at each other, causing nuisances.
What's the age?
I'm talking about like 60s. One is in her 60s and the other one is like in her 30s or 40s.
So they should know better.
So they absolutely should know better. This is not 2 18-year-olds. Even then, it's like you're still an adult, right?
Right.
But some lady in her 60s and the other person in 30 or 40s acting like this. And so I literally had to say, both of you come outside. And then I had to like have them stand there separate and said, I'm not doing this anymore. Like, you guys keep calling me saying so on this and that. And you tell that person, you tell this person. And I said, you need to get it together, or both are going to be gone. Like, I'm not going to deal with this. I'd rather have 2 vacancies than deal with you, both of you, and my team, because my team's getting calls. So they realized I had to lay the hammer down. We're not doing this anymore. And so they said, yeah, you're right. Like, we're just, I said, I don't need you guys to be best friends, but you need to be neighborly.
Yes.
And so
I have a similar one like that at a property, upstairs, downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
So downstairs swears that upstairs goes out and smokes on the balcony because can't smoke in your apartment.
Mm-hmm.
That he flicks his ashes on the guy's patio below.
Yep.
They don't speak to each other, but they both renew every time. Like, they don't move. When we have community activities, which we do every month, they participate, but not at the same time. They come at separate times. One likes to go in and talk to the on-site just to kind of chit-chat and complain about the other. And then the other one just never says anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But it's just amazing. But and she's like, you don't have to renew. Like, if you want to live somewhere else, I understand if you're not happy. He's like, nope, I'm staying.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to piggyback off of that because have I ever been sued? And the answer is yes. But have they won? The answer is you have to stay tuned. So I have been sued because for two times, actually. The first person was suing me because they felt that I unjustly charged them for move out costs. That's what I was thinking of. So then we go to court, right? And this is the juicy part, I guess. We go to arbitration, and they're trying to figure out things out, and they're like, the person who was trying to sue me was not getting the answer that she wanted. So the person who was there, who was a retired attorney or retired judge, said, "Hey, I'm telling you right now, like, it's not going to work in your favor, lady." So she's like, "Nope, I want to go to the judge. We're gonna go." So we went in front of the judge, and this is why it's so important. You always take notes.
paper
trail. When in doubt, write it out. So all my documents are in alignment. And so the judge says, "Okay, miss, go ahead and plead your case." She does. And when he says, "Andrew, is that true?" And I said, "Yep, 100% of it." And he's like, "So then you're pleading guilty?" I'm like, "Nope, let me explain." And so when I did, I said, "Yes, I told her that if she moves out early, it's a skip and she's going to owe on the lease."
Right.
And that, so on and so forth. So I did tell her it could affect her credit and it will affect her balance due here. And so he's like, "Oh, wait, you missed that part. You didn't tell." He was like, "You didn't tell me that part, lady." And so he's not bullying you. He was telling you what the repercussions are if you don't follow through. And so, is there any new information? Nope. All right, case dismissed. So I got sued. I was being sued, but she didn't win. And then somebody else tried to sue me for damages. I think I told you in a previous one about she wanted all the flooring. She replaced all the flooring. And then we go to court. I explained to the judge, if you look at my notes, again, write everything out. She renewed after she said that she said it was health issues why she needed to leave. And then, but yet she kept renewing exactly what your person was doing. So the judge is saying, "Ma'am, clearly Andrew has an email from 2001 or 2 or whatever year it was saying they would just release you. Why didn't you leave if it was such a health issue? You're saying because of what they were doing on the property, it was a health hazard to your health, but yet you renewed like 3 years back to back to back. So why didn't you leave?" And she didn't have an answer. And so he's like, "No, I'm not going to reimburse. You don't, Andrew, go ahead. You're dismissed." So have I been sued? Yes. But have they won? No. And knock on wood, I've never lost it.
Paper trail.
That's the takeaway. Paper takeaway.
I have fired a property management company without notice.
Oof.
Oh, those are rough.
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun. Like in the novellas. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. Just, it's not working out. Have I had a property management company fire themselves? Yes. Met with the owner. We had a conversation, and in the conversation, she said, "I just don't think I'm a good fit for this property."
Yeah.
And I actually went there to fire her. So that worked out the best.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So
there's some good ones, and I'm trying to think. There's so many more. Have I had car accidents on my property? Yes. Have I had fires at my property? Yes. Have I ever had a flood at my property where multiple units, fire sprinkler systems are going off at the same time? Yes. and literally we're running around like with like chickens with their heads cut off, trying to get furniture out into the hallways to get them out of the units. Floods. It was really quickly. It was Google was they're trying to drill something into. They were cutting something into like the roof and hit a fire sprinkler line, and then everything just flooded. So then it was a huge claim, but not my fault. I didn't do it. So, but yeah, have I had flooded units? Yes.
Yep.
Fires.
Why
yes.
we have insurance.
Car accidents.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we had a hit and run Christmas Eve. Someone hit our building, hit the building, and it was some sort of main, I don't know the words, but a main post or something in the apartment. So the fire chief couldn't leave until we had contractors come out and shore it up, that it was safe. So yeah, that was on Christmas Eve. That was fun.
I've had a power outage. That's not fun, especially when it's in the evening time, because then elevators don't work, certain things. I mean, you have certain life and safety things that are supposed to still work.
Yes.
Like if you have underground parking, the garage doors are supposed to open so people can get out. But elevators actually do shut down, so you have to have fire department come out, open up the elevators. Is anybody in there? So I've had it. I remember physically, just imagine me running, anybody in here, going floor to floor, because if it's stuck on the second, you don't know if it's on the fourth or third, so
right.
You're going floor to floor to floor. Is anybody here? Nope. Anybody here? Nope. And we're on walkie talkies. Hey, where are you at? Like,
yeah,
the crazy stuff.
Yeah, lots of crazy stuff.
Lots of crazy stuff. So keep an eye out for our book that we're gonna write about all the craziness that happens.
Have you ever in all your life?
Yes. There's more. I'm just trying to think. There's so much more. So maybe we should throw a couple of them, little sprinkles here and there in our podcast. Yeah.
Day in the life.
Day in the life.
Watch Day in the Life.
Watch
It's
Day
a
in the
novella.
Life. Mondays, 4:00 Pacific Standard Time. Cool. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. We'll see you on the next ones. See you in class.